Hey, what's up, you guys? Steve Loper here from the Heavy Hitter Podcast. It's a big night. It is a very big night. We're bringing a true heavy hitter to the set. He's going to be on in the next 10 minutes, next 5 minutes or so. Josh doesn't know what's going on. He's totally out of the loop. I set this up on the side, but he's going to enjoy it. It's going to be a fun night. Josh, how's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. You nervous about it or what? What's your thoughts here? You got 5 minutes.
I am nervous, bro. I got that time, the beginning of the school year when things start, you got the butterflies going.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there's a little kid inside, just jumping around the field, just with a net, trying to catch all these beautiful butterflies. And I'm just because I'm not prepared at all. I don't know if it's a male, female. I don't know if it's Miss Hitter, Miss Chipper Jones, or what the heck's going on, dude?
It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. I think you'll be excited. We talk about this content a lot. I really don't know what else to tell you until pops up.
Until the heavy hitter pops on. Hey, how about can we just do one shout out, one toast for 129 downloads?
We're past that now. We're up in the 130s now.
Little
cheers. You got a cold beverage. I'm repping the Cary Park Sea Dragons tonight.
Ooh, I like that. That's a cool glass, dude.
Shout out to the Cary Park Sea Dragons.
I like that. And Johnny's Pizza, right? For the support.
Yeah, the official pizza of the Cary Park Sea Dragons. Johnny's Pizza will be on tomorrow night.
Papa John's what?
We got 2 guests in a row. We're getting somewhere now.
Getting somewhere, dude.
Yeah.
You know, they say you can either be interesting or be interested in someone else. And I think we're a little bit of both. I think you're a little bit of both. Maybe I'm not.
I don't know what to call it.
I'm just a freak from Minnesota, baby.
That's it. That's all you can be.
That's all you can be.
Well, I'm excited to get this underway, man. Usually when we talk, it's time just flies by. But now that we're anticipating a guest, the minutes are creeping by before I send the link, and
I get more and more nervous. Dude, what's the story with the pirate head? I feel like you place that stuff so people will ask you about it someday. You got
that's just sort of the set the scene,
That's from the Outer Banks.
This right here is from the Gary V conference that we met at. So that was a cookie they gave out in the Facebook tent. So I said that.
I didn't get that.
That's the Gary V, the Crushing It book that we got there.
The Crushing It book.
Pirates, that was our mascot at East Carolina University. So that's just my coin jar.
What up, Danny? Shout out to Danny.
Is what it is. That was Danny's buddy. Danny didn't go to ECU.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Oh, got it.
No.
Well, is he a listener of the show, Danny?
I don't know.
He probably isn't. He's
I think he wants to be on the show.
Danny, the Jets suck if you don't listen to the show, pal.
He thinks you're a Jets fan, so just leave him alone.
No, I'm all for the Jets if he's a fan of the show. No, I do kind of like the Jets. It's weird, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in love with that guy.
Hey, take your laptop screen and push it down a little bit to center you in the frame a little bit more, so I can have, because we're gonna be creating content and stuff out of this. So I needed to,
I like it.
Not too much.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. I don't want too much dead wall space up there and stuff like this. Sorry if we're boring you guys these first few minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead. It's 9:58 my time. I'm gonna go ahead and send off the link. So let me
send the link to the heavy hitter, dude. I don't know if it's gonna be my kindergarten teacher. I don't know if it's your wife, my wife. I don't care who. Maybe it's the janitor at I don't care. I'm excited for all
I have
of them.
no idea how this is going to go down either.
Oh, man.
I have no idea. I've got a little intro.
You know how I think we should start the show, though? Or maybe you've already thought of it. I love how when Gary starts his Ask Gary V show or podcast, he's always like, all right, for the 1 out of 10 people that don't know who you are, what you about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just going to let you handle it. All right, I'm hitting send.
Do I even know this person? All right, send that. Send it. Check it. I'm so nervous, dude. Does the person... Am I connected to this person on social media?
I don't know.
I'm so...
How come I hit send and it didn't go? Oh, there it is.
Uh-oh.
All right, it went. So
We don't need any troubles on the Heavy Hitter podcast.
it went. So it should just be hopping on here soon, man.
Dude, what
I think you'll know immediately, and then you'll just be able to take off. So the countdown has begun.
The countdown. It's the final countdown. So I feel like we're still. I love being a variety show. I know we've talked about this, but I don't know. I think we both have a little knack for. I don't know. I know you not so much music, but you know songs.
Oh yeah, I know. I can sing them and stuff like that, but I can't keep up. Like who's who and whatnot.
So we got the Capitals playing right now. They're up 2-0.
Yep.
Right.
I go to Vegas if they win.
Go to Vegas. Week. Do you know what game you're going to go to? You guys trying to go to game 1 or game?
Whenever he tells me to book the ticket, I'll book the ticket.
How much are those tickets going to be? Any idea?
No idea.
I imagine like $300 a pop, right? I have no.
Probably up in the nosebleeds for 300. I have no real idea.
I think as much as I would love to go to a game, I think I'd rather gamble with that money.
Well, I've never been to Vegas and done anything but gamble, so it'll be different.
That's true. I just kind of want to be in the environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when knuckleheads like you go to the game and then, come out to the strip afterwards. I just think that'd be fun. I'd be repping my jersey, I don't know. Go Knights.
I'd rock out there. I'm going with the Caps fan though, so I'd probably have to rock the Caps.
Yeah,
I'd imagine, or just go in between.
Plus, you're East Coast.
Yeah, but I don't really have a dog in the fight, so it's not that big a deal.
It would be so cool though. Yeah, man. What were you like running the kids all over tonight? I mean, I feel like you're always doing something. You got like swim this, dance that.
The daughter had a
student council, right?
Student council, sort of like into the school year. Like she got a bunch of certificates and awards and recognition. They had a picnic, but it was inside in the library. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
just really, really good kids, man. Like there was like 30 kids in the room, but my daughter's the secretary, and I told you earlier about how I made her video and did all her posters and put them up strategically in the school when she was running for office.
Yeah.
Like I had her hooked up right out of the gate. Like,
do you write her speech for her too?
Oh no, she got to direct the video with a little bit of input from me, but I was the cameraman and kind of give her ideas and maybe tell her to do something again if I didn't get it right. No, I got to handle the editing, and that's where the magic happens, bro.
Now, is this your how old or what grade?
She is in 4th grade.
In 4th grade? Gonna be in 5th grade next year?
Yep. I mean, that's dude. Unless she fails.
Nah, she's got your wife's smarts, dude.
Yeah.
No,
I don't even know how she does it. She gets all good grades, man. Doesn't work too hard. I don't ever see her do homework. She does it like while she's on the bus on the way home. Yeah.
That's because she know mom's gonna crack that whip when she gets home.
Oh yeah. I wish my son was smart enough to do it on the bus.
Man, homework has got to be just a battle in itself, dude. Some nights.
You think we should maybe edit the podcast sort of once it starts, and like once the guest gets here, sort of reopen the podcast and I can edit it out?
I think so.
You think so?
I like that. Otherwise, I think it'll make it too long and it's too
getting
to the punchline.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that necessarily though. Oh, and we got like a 30-minute time limit.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Only cost me like $2,000.
For real?
No.
Oh geez. Is someone popping in?
Yeah, somebody's popping in there. You don't see a name on the screen yet?
Holy shit.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working perfect, man. How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh. What's up, heavy hitter?
Can you hear us?
Hey, there he is. Yeah, is my microphone working?
Yeah, it's working perfect.
What's up, buddy?
Oh my gosh. What is going on, dude?
Hey, what's happening?
Oh my gosh, dude, you told me it wasn't DJ Bonics, dude.
You guessed, and I couldn't believe you guessed it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing a bad job at this. So then I ended up telling him it was a she to try to push him away. Hey guys,
What's up, Josh?
Let me do a quick intro.
What's going on, bro?
Let me do a quick intro, set the scene for everybody who's going to be listening to this. I'm Steve Loper, live in Cary, North Carolina. My co-host, Josh Johnson. Say what's up, Josh.
Hey, what's going on?
He's in Minnesota. He's a huge fan of DJ Bonics. And
For real.
me and him together started the Heavy Hitter podcast. And Josh was always talking about heavy hitter this and heavy hitter that. And I was like, all right, maybe we'll start the Heavy Hitter podcast. I didn't know where the hell he got the name from. And then all of a sudden, last night, he started saying heavy hitter, sucker. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, DJ Bonics says that.
So here's, I'm a huge fan of DJ Bonics. I mean, DJ Bonics, dude, you are like the shit. The realest.
Man.
Like,
I'm a huge fan of you, man. Come on,
dude. You are holding it down. So I love the High Noon Mix show. Love everything you got going on. I mean, you'll explain like what you do, what you're about. But during the High Noon Mix show, he's always got the heavy hitter sucker going on. So I'm just trying to spread the love out. So I started calling everyone I'm like, what's up, heavy hitter? Like, what's going on? So Loper caught on to that, and he's like, we're gonna name it like the Heavy Hitter Podcast. So I hope there's no like hard feelings like over that. Like,
no, of course not, man. It's two different things. So you good, man. You good. I'm just happy that I could join you guys, man. I've never done a Google Hangout before. I don't think so. This is a first for me.
What do you have going on tonight? I thought you'd be able to like shut up and rap or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I just mixed like an hour for the weekend mixes, and it recorded all wrong. So I just sweated out an hour of mixing that I thought was recording, and it wasn't. So I'm a bit bummed about that, but I'm here, man. I'm just hanging out tonight. I might head out tonight, but the Memorial Day weekend, as much as it for everyone to have a good time and grill and hang out, I gotta do a lot of prep for radio stuff so we can have some fun. You know what I mean? So that's what I've kind of been working on. But epic failure right now.
Oh man.
So DJ Bonics, I got a couple of notes here, man. I looked you up and I did some research. Right now, you are a DJ for 95.3 Go Radio out of Minnesota.
That's right.
You just got a recent promotion. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm assistant program director, which is pretty neat because it's been a year since I've been here, and so to climb to be able to have that impact, I should say, is a better way to put it, is dude, to be able to do both on top of it, because I don't know many people who are able to like tour on the road with a rapper and to be able to have a pretty big job at the radio station and still maintain a radio show on top of it is pretty exciting, man. It's all dreams come true, you know?
Yeah. You got a big time DJ job. You just got a promotion there. You're the official DJ for Wiz Khalifa. And that's right. In, like 2011?
About 2010-ish. It was crazy because in Pittsburgh in 2010, I had kind of the dream job at the moment, which was I was a music director. I did afternoon show in Pittsburgh, PA. I was like the guy in Pittsburgh or whatever. And at that time, I was working for Clear Channel Entertainment, which is iHeartRadio now. So I was on like a KDWB in Pittsburgh. Let me put it that way. I hate to even say that. But I was the K word. I'm just kidding. Much respect, man. They're the OGs. But it was like during a time where like music was just shitty, you know. It was like, you know, we were playing more like a lot of pop, Britney Spears, but it was like bad. I mean, still questionable. Well, it wasn't good Britney Spears. It was If You Seek Amy and all that whole nine, and it just was very uninspiring. And I was making an okay salary, and I was like the guy in Pittsburgh, and opportunity to tour with this guy named Wiz Khalifa came up. Half the people I would ask for advice, they were like, who's Wiz Khalifa? And the other half would be like, you know, no risk, no reward. So who was to know that later that year, Wiz releases Black and Yellow, Pittsburgh Steelers go to the Super Bowl. Wiz is like the biggest thing at the moment. And I ended up making the right decision, which, you know, I'm still reaping the reward today, man. So the moral of that story was, you know, risk big, reward big, man. I mean, I'm sure I would have thrived in the other dimension, but to be able to tour with Wiz and do, you know, Saturday Night Lives and Ellens and travel all over the world, man, it's and to end up here in Minnesota, which is kind of crazy. It's just been a super cool adventure, man. And if it all ended tomorrow, I would have been like, oh, I did it. So it's pretty exciting, you know.
That's crazy, man. So
it's crazy seeing Joshua. It's crazy to see you moving, because the only picture I know of you is your little realtor pic. So
yeah,
seeing you. And
what's that?
Yeah, I was saying. So I'm hoping, you know, you got to find me a house, man, so I could be permanent resident, and you could sell me my house. That would be really a heavy hitter right there if you could do that for me.
That's right, man. We got to get you to stay here, man. Dude, I'm gonna be like heartbroken if you ever go anywhere.
Working on it, man. That's why you got to get me a house, man. More reason to stay.
That's right, dude.
Sign them up, Josh.
Dude, so what? I know you've mentioned it a couple times when you're on the radio about how you skipped a lot of class in college and you were, you know,
right.
playing with the records and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Did you go to college with Wiz Khalifa?
No. So I'm a little bit older than Wiz. Is like 30 now, and will be 38 this year. Believe it or not. Don't tell me.
No way.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I thought you were like, you were like 26 or 28. I had no idea.
I hate to break it to you. No, you know what? I knew Wiz because he was recording at a friend's studio who was a good friend of mine, and Wiz was actually like going there after school more on some like extracurricular shit, it seemed like. And he was, I don't know who he was with at the time, but he was rapping with a bunch of kids, and the guy who owned the studio, my friend Edan, who runs ID Labs, who basically produces a lot of Wiz's stuff, he was like, yo, this kid Cameron, man, he's probably the best out of that whole litter. And then we just kind of been helping him along the way. And there, you know, and I was doing, like, I guess there were moments where I could have been his DJ per se, but I was doing my own thing. I was like trying to, you know, do my thing in Pittsburgh. And that was just the best time. At 2010, he needed a DJ. Dude, it's a real thing when that voice comes inside your head and it's like, all right, it's time to move on. It's time. This isn't right. Like that gut feeling that they talk about is exactly what that is, because dude, what if I didn't choose that path? Like, that's what I think about. I mean, I'm sure that I would have found another thing, but like, it's just amazing, man. You know, when people ask me like, hey, how did you hook up with the short answer to that is he was the best at what he was in the city. I was the best at what I did. And, you know, if you're going to go out into the scary world together, you might as well be with the best. So,
right.
You know, that's the short end of it.
Well, I mean, the best part of it is like, you know, obviously you've got Wiz, but, you know, you are by no means like riding his coattail at all, because you got your own shit going on, and you like, you know, you're tearing it up, you know, like, I mean, you're everywhere, dude. Like, I mean, it's awesome. Like,
well, you know, like now it's hand in hand though, because obviously there's worth of, hey, you're Wiz's DJ. I've mentally been preparing myself at some point for life after Wiz, but I've also seen DJing go from something that was special to not special. Like, you know, you buy a laptop and guess what? You're a DJ. You buy a camera, you're a photographer. You know, you take pictures on Instagram, you're a model. You know what I mean? So I've watched the shit water down right in front of my eyes that it has to be more than just DJing, and it has to be more than just because you know, I've always been a guy who wanted to do it differently from everyone else. So it was super special for me to have this experience. I mean, even up to this day, dude, like, you don't understand. Like, I've been in a couple of radio markets between Pittsburgh and here, including I had an opportunity to grow at Power 106 in Los Angeles, but I understood where I needed to be as far as being able to impact people, because a lot of people just do it to do it, and they brag about it and they post about it. But my main goal is to impact people. And so it's got to go further than the music, and it's got to be further than just like, hey, I'm cool, I'm DJing, you know, like the feedback that I get in the city, you know, including you, man, you don't have to tweet every day that you're listening. You don't have to do that at all. But you're compelled to do it because you feel like that you have a connection, and that makes me feel like what I'm doing is special. You know what I mean? And even being on this podcast and LoperCon, am I saying that right? I think yeah, you know, for him to even make the connection, and now we're all tied in, and we've never even met in the world, is just a testament to you know, always being where you belong. And this is just a great example of it.
It's one of those things Josh had mentioned whenever he was introducing me to you, like before I had even, you know, heard of you at all. Right. He talked about the way you connected with your audience, and it was just different to him. And that's something that I think, you know, looking from the outside in, that really attracted Josh to you and the way you DJ. Like, you were always, you know, giving those shout outs. The first time that I said I was listening myself from North Carolina, you tweeted me right back and said, hey, I'm going to give you a shout out on the radio here in a few minutes, you know, and I was trying to record it so I could text it over, you know. I
mean, it's just a matter of like understanding how our actions really impact people. And again, this radio thing and hip hop, and it's become a fast food thing where here's what I mean. This is like maybe a theory of mine, but like technology has made people want to compete with the best. You know, it's like you see who's the best at what it is. Before technology, we were, as a DJ, you only knew who was the best, like, you know, DJ Jazzy Jeff, but he was so far from where you were. And then you had the guy who was like killing it locally. So you only really had to like look up to the guy killing it locally. And now with technology, we've all of a sudden want the attention of the best, and people forget that making an impact locally is the step to get to that Jazzy Jeff level. You know what I mean? Jazzy Jeff was doing house parties and doing all this shit. So if and I tell a lot of rappers or up and coming artists, like, if you can't impact your neighbors, then what makes you think anyone else cares in the world? You know? And that doesn't hold always true. Sometimes you have to go somewhere else because they'll understand you better, you know, i.e. small town Jim and moves to the big city and they understand him, you know, but, dude, impact, man. That's the word that I like to use a lot lately, because it's like, are you making an impact or are you just doing it? And that's important to me. And thanks, because I don't think I'm like a hype beast. I don't do anything on the radio that's like, whoa, dazzle it. You know, it's just, you hear that I mean, me personally, my goal is I just want people to want to feel like that they want to hang out with me. And that's pretty much it. And I think that's a lot of people in radio or in these media jobs, they put themselves on a pedestal and they want you to be, and want you to make them feel like I'm above you because I'm on this platform. But that's not how to win people over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there's no way that anybody else would hop on a podcast with the two of us, like, over at any of the other media stations in Minneapolis. There's just no way.
Dude, we went out and got a mic. We got the headsets. We learned how to use the cameras. Just like he's saying, anybody can be a DJ. Like, anybody can be podcasters.
Right. But that's also a blessing too, is that anyone can do it. It's just, what is your intent? You know, because people will buy it. And then, I mean, there's definitely the hey, we're just having fun aspect of it. But if you are going out there and, like, not you two, but, you know, if people are going out there and trying to pretend like it's bigger than it is, that will end up biting them in the butt. That's why it's like, I always like to say, nobody wants to read a book that says chapter 1, they lived happily ever after. Who wants to read that book? You know what I'm saying? The book is chapter 1. I went through a bunch of shit so that I could live happily ever after. And people are forgetting that step, man. It's like, you know, they say, you know, enjoy the process, and hey, man, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You say he says a lot of. Do you know Gary Vaynerchuk? Do you listen to him at all?
Is that Gary V?
Yeah, Gary V.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see his stuff on Instagram and all that. I like what he has to say. And this is no shots fired because he's definitely inspiring. Mad. Is that a Gary V book right there?
Yeah,
is that?
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he's amazing. I have nothing bad to say. Sometimes I feel like it's a little bit, the delivery is too intense for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like I get he's trying to drive it home, but sometimes it feels like if no shots fired again because he's inspiring millions and that's his vehicle. So, but for me personally, sometimes it feels too much like a guy who's putting you through like exercise class, you know, like if you don't and so some of that becomes a little too much. I do want to read the book, however. I just sometimes I feel like are you helping me or are you yelling at me and I can't figure it out, you know? But again, it's different strokes for different people. Like, you know, some of those methods, people need that. Some people need, you know, tough love and some people need gentle love. So I fuck with Gary V is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I hear some of your the message sort of crossing paths, like talking about impact and just some of those keywords, key phrases that, you know, that's me and Josh met at a Gary V conference down in Miami just in January. And we're like I
want to go, like, I need to go meet that guy. I really want to see, because I feel like, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I want to know how I can do that for the people that, you know, that's the next step eventually, but I have to continue to prove where I'm at so that people know I'm believable. You know what I mean?
I would say right now is a really hot time. He is deep into the rap game right now. He's bringing in who did he have the other day, Josh?
Who are you thinking of?
I forget who it was. Some guy that just got out of like 4 years in jail.
T Grizzly.
Yeah.
T Grizzly. Yeah, T Grizzly was just here, and Gary V was actually in Minnesota during the Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, you have the platform and the clout and the way to get in touch with him, man. I would just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what those steps would be. I mean, I've actually considered recently trying to be like consulting or something, but there's a piece of me, and maybe Gary V could help me with this. There's a piece of me that just feels illegitimate if I'm trying to get money to help people. But the end of the day is that's a natural. I mean, look, I look at it as that there's a young DJ or a young rapper who would pay me $100 for me to talk to them for a half hour. And that's just hard for me because I just feel cheap by I have to get over it, basically, is that I have to get over the fact that I can help. Like even DJ lessons, like I've been giving some DJ lessons and they're like, how much do you charge? And I'm almost like, no one charged me. Why do you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking about asking you that. I'm like, I wonder if I reach out to DJ Bonics, like how much he would charge. Because like
I definitely would, but I have to get over it. That's why I'm not a businessman. I probably could have be more successful if I was a little bit more stern, but again, I'm too I don't know, man. I'm more passion than I am paper, you know, and so I'd rather work for it, you know.
I think he talks about giving away a lot of the stuff for free. So instead of like maybe just doing like, you know, making videos and creating content around what you're doing and just giving it away and then building your social influence that way. And then the return on that investment that you're giving away for free is where you're going to build yourself up versus, you know, charging $10 here, $10 there, you know, $100 here, $100 there.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, at the same time, maybe too, I also am not living my entire truth all the time. You know, I'm dealing with my own sort of anxieties and insecurities in my imperfect world. So maybe sometimes and whatever, this is me being hard on myself or self-deprecating, but I don't want to feel like a fraud because I'm telling people to live this truth where there's parts in my life that I could respectfully say I could be doing better. I mean, we'll just say like health or something, even like, hey, I need to be treating myself better. And if I'm telling everyone else that they need to be treating themselves better and I'm over here skipping my medications or not living the mind, body, and soul, then I feel cheap about it. So again, it's I appreciate that though. Because that's what I would want to do is you know, talk to people. You know, I don't know if you read this, but I had a heart attack in my early 30s.
Yeah, I read that. 30 years old, right?
Yeah, 30 years old. And, you know, even that, to be able to talk to young people about, hey, there's certain things that you could probably be doing to be healthier. And I'm over here guzzling a cheesesteak last night. So, you know, I guess we're never going to be perfect, but
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till maybe a better time where I feel a little bit more, you know, I feel like I'm living my truth 100%, if that's even possible.
It's tough. It's a battle, right, Josh?
It is a battle. I mean, we kind of talked about that too, and just, I mean, I struggle with that in the real estate game too. You know, it's like I feel like everyone wants a real estate agent that is, you know, always professional and, you know, kind of stuffy or whatever. And like, you know, what are they going to think about a guy that's like, you know, like just loves music, loves hip hop, loves rap, loves to cuss, loves to drink, like whatever,
Right.
you know? But I think a lot of times it's like, but you know, at the end of the day, like I feel like the truth always wins. You know what I mean?
Right.
He frees up.
We're having a little
No. Oh, can
Okay.
you hear me?
little grizzly bear, right?
Yeah, grizzly bear. There are people who like would want that, and that's the kind of person I am. When I bought a house, so I own a house in Pittsburgh, and I didn't want to deal with anyone. Like when I got a doctor here, I told my doctor straight up, I was like, I just need you to talk to me. I don't want this like you know. And that's kind of I think that there are young people who like hip hop who would rather ask you insecure questions because they're scared of not looking stupid. And that's the type of people that I want to deal with. When I bought my house, I was like, listen, I have this amount of money, make sure I'm good and make it easy for me. And that's what happened, because it probably wasn't the smartest way to go about it, but it was everyone that I trusted. And so I know that if I deal with someone who I trust and you know, that's what I'm saying, is that there are people out there who don't know how to speak that language, and they're going into this thing scary. And there are realtors that know that they have that power over people who just don't know and can be. So don't look at it that as like a disadvantage. Look at it as like, hey man, there's people who want to be talked to because you have the same sort of I don't know, the same sort of likes, and you know, so that's why I would deal with you to buy a house, because I would ask you the most insecure ever. I'd be like, hey, this is the amount of money I have, what can you do for me? Versus trying to like,
it's not you're dealing with the suit. I think that would be the difference here, Josh. Like you being yourself, and you know, being the one real estate agent in Minneapolis that sets herself apart from the rest of the stuffiness. You know, you're gonna sell DJ Bonics a house. You know, he's gonna be one of your top clients. Like we talk about using influencers and stuff like that. I mean, that's a great introduction right out of the gate. And
right, and I would come out and say,
it's like a marketing plan.
Right, exactly. I'd be like, yo, you guys you thinking about buying a house, and are you dealing with people that you know that you're just not comfortable with? Like, yo, my guy Joshua is killing it, and I can talk to him. I can ask him all the scary questions, and you're not going to judge me. And that's that goes across the board. I feel like for like when I'm buying a car, that's why I always just try to find people I know when I have to deal with something. Because like when you buy a car, you don't know what. It's not that they're trying to get over you. They're just they're trying to like.
You just don't know. I hate buying a car too, dude.
Right. Or like getting your car fixed, you know, like that's why I just look for people who want to fuck with me. And then I say, yo, you're my guy forever. And whatever you need from me, let's just go back and forth. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's, it's weird, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should go deep about that sometime, and I could be your guinea pig, you know, and I'd love to explore that more. And maybe that's something to be talked about how, you know, where there's a network of people that aren't scary and all, you know, like, and
for
I think that's cool.
Well, and I think everyone feels that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird that in the age that we're living in social media, like everyone's kind of afraid to share their true self in a sense, or like what, you know, because obviously maybe sometimes there are like repercussions, you know?
Right. I mean, it's scary. It's scary. I mean, obviously I'm not going to go ahead and spill the demons, but, I have my own sort of, like I said, things that I have to face eventually. Or I just have to not guilt myself, so it's scary. It's real though. At least I know that I have,
Bonics, you might have a your cord.
Is that better?
You got a little feedback coming. There you go.
Hey. All right, cool. Yeah. Sorry, I put the mic down. I actually broke the mic I was going to use right before. I'm having a disaster time before this, but right before I got on with you guys, I did this mix that didn't record, and my other mic broke. But and I always look at things like that. I don't get mad at things like that anymore because now we're having a great conversation and a great connection. So I always look at tragedy only means when I had a heart attack the next year I had the greatest year of my career ever, and so it's always like great things are on the other side of fear, you know what I mean?
Right.
And scary things are things that we think hold us back, but the reality is it's like you're either going to take it two ways. You're going to stub. I always tell a story like this, like there's two types of people, right? You're driving to work and someone cuts you off. And so the first type of person is, what the fuck, fucking asshole. Da, 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 da. Call your girlfriend. You wouldn't believe this fucking asshole. Get to work and you're at the cubicle like, this fucking asshole. And then all day long at the happy hour, you're like, you wouldn't believe this fucking asshole. And that's the type of one person that carries with them. And the other type of person's like, what an asshole. And then keeps it moving.
Right.
And doesn't allow that to be their focus for the day.
Right. So I want to respect your time too, man. Like how are we doing with time?
You're good.
Okay.
I'm cool. The longer, it's fine. So you're good. I hope I'm not talking too much.
No, dude, it's awesome. So I was thinking yesterday, on the way home, I was like, holy shit, like he's gonna be gone for the summer. He's gonna be traveling with Wiz. When do you take off?
So I leave I'm gonna open this calendar so I can share it with you guys. I mean, it's crazy because now I have to do the show and do the assistant program direction duties and travel and you're trying to maintain a normal thing. So let's see. We go to Europe on the 27th, and I'll just name you the countries that we're going
of June.
27th of June, but there's some stuff in between that, like rehearsals and all that. But Czech Republic, Odense, Denmark, Amsterdam, London, Paris, Belgium, Switzerland, Germany, Croatia, Norway, Finland.
This guy's all over the map.
And then we come back and then we're supposed to be doing, and this is not public, but there's possible Good Morning America, Jimmy Fallon, and then we start the U.S. tour on the 21st from Michigan all throughout the U.S. Not stopping by. What Loper? Where are you at?
I'm in North Carolina.
You're in North Carolina. So if we're in North Carolina, Wiz has gotten arrested there a few times, so we don't love to go there anymore. But we'll be in Virginia, wherever near a city you're at, man. Any of you guys feel free to come to a show.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So where's the closest place that he's going to be to Minneapolis, dude?
I think Chicago, it looks like, or I don't know, is Oklahoma close? I don't think so, but Chicago. But listen, if you guys ever want to come to a show, it's on me. You guys can come, but not LA, not New York, not Pittsburgh, and not Philly.
Gaia.
Because those are areas. Yeah. Anytime, man. You guys want to meet up, make a road trip, it'd be great.
That's cool, man. I was watching some videos, and back in 2011 you were touring in Birmingham, UK, and you were doing some video content. It seems like your video content that you were pushing out, I could find a lot of that from like the 2011 era. I think that stuff was all interesting. Every time I watched it, you did this one, where you sat down just in front of a gray screen and you just talked about how you met Wiz, and then you were out in the crowd talking to people in line, about, they started singing songs, or you'd ask them a question about if they were excited or what they want to say to Wiz. I love watching all that good content, man.
Right. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's crazy because all that technology and shit, that was all happening at the same time. You can actually watch Wiz's whole career in the same manner. If you look up Wiz videos, the earliest, he's holding the camera saying, "Hey, I'm going to Penn State, about to smoke a blunt, and we're gonna kill it," you know. But yeah, it's just hard to do that. It's hard to do that consistently right now. I don't want to half-ass it, but you know, now you know the Instagram thing, but you know, YouTube is actually like king still. So you're right. I need to do that. That's what I plan to do this summer, dude. Find a radio DJ that's going to do a radio show all summer long on tour with a rapper every day on a radio show. And that's what I plan to do this summer is go deeper and, you know, go in the crowd, interview people and kind of bring back that content a little bit. But it's just hard, man. I'm a one-man team. So,
yeah,
you know, I edit all of it, do all that. I mean, I have, like 5 million views on YouTube. You're exactly right. I need to be doing more of that.
Couple other quick notes here. I read too. You were in Pittsburgh back on May 18th, and I saw your post. I think it was May 18th. It says May 23rd, but maybe that's just, what is that, today's date? Yeah, it's today's date.
I was yeah, go ahead.
So just, you know, you said tonight I'm in Pittsburgh, PA. I learned how to DJ in the city, and I can't count the amount of times I've DJed here. And then he starts to go over his list, Josh. And I don't know if you've read this, but it's just, I started reading it and I just kept reading it, and the list just kept going on and on. So it starts with like pit parties, Bigelow bashes, WPTS college radio, Whammo, Juneteenth, Big Ben pool parties, pit football games, Monday Night Raw, the Major Baseball All-Star Weekend, first night, 2001 NFC Championship game, the Steeler fashion show, the first ever down in Derby, Bonics on the it just keeps on going. It just keeps on going and it's like, man, he talks about Chappelle, Jay-Z, Blueprint 3 tour, Nas, Lupe, Nerd, J. Cole.
All that you're mentioning too is before Wiz, and that's what's awesome about that. All that was before Wiz, you know.
Yes,
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many cool experiences that you've had that you're having that are just like unreal, dude. Like, I mean, I think I remember like Super Bowl weekend, like on Instagram, you had like, you took a picture of like Cardi B behind you or whatever. Like,
right. You gotta come hang out, man. We gotta come hang out. Let's go. Where do you live, even?
I live in Maple Grove. Where are you at? You're in Loring Park, right?
Yeah. Are you going to Soundset or what?
I'm not. I'm going out of town this weekend.
I tried to win you tickets today, Josh. I was calling in, man.
Where are you gonna go this weekend?
Up to the lake, Mound Lake, in Uppsala. It's like way out
just
there.
To go, or?
Yeah, my mother-in-law's cabin. I might do an open house maybe Sunday. We'll see, but I don't know. I've done open houses the last 3 weekends, and the big fella just kind of needs to chill a little bit.
So you wouldn't go to Soundset if you could?
Dude, shit, I would go to Soundset. I've actually never been to Soundset, and I was serious that day when I tweeted you. I was like, dude, everyone's trying to win Soundset tickets. Like, I'm just trying to win, like, to meet DJ Bonics, dude. And like, dude, I'm like already, like, I like Logic. I like Logic. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think like that's awesome. I mean, the whole thing is just stacked, dude. But I was like, dude,
wait. But what if we did this for you right here? Would you go or what?
Oh shit, dude.
You gotta
Come
talk,
on, buddy.
Don't talk about having to talk to the old wifey now.
What?
You let me know. I got 2 tickets for you, and you let me know by tomorrow if you want to go.
All right, man. All right. What time does it even start on Sunday?
I think it's all day thing. 11 a.m. goes on all day long. So,
all right. Am I gonna get like puked on and shit? Like a bunch of high schoolers are gonna puke on me or what?
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I've been to Soundset twice, but on the other end performing. So
yeah,
you let me know tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm giving these away to someone else.
All right, bro. I appreciate that, dude.
And you'll have to come get them at the radio station. Then you could visit the station and you could witness the High Noon Mix Show live.
Yeah, Now you're talking, Josh.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Can I put Kush Picasso in a headlock?
Of course.
No, he'll put me in a headlock.
He's gonna think this is great. I'm gonna tell him all about this.
You guys are doing an awesome job, dude. I mean, you guys are you're killing it, and you're doing great things in the city. That's awesome, man.
I've worked for a lot of radio stations in the past, and honestly, this one is I'll tell you a short story of what happened before this. So I was living in LA, Power 106. That was my goal, me get on Power 106, and I got it. And I was doing one show, and I think I played that too safe. And this goes back to me maybe being too I don't know, maybe being too modest. I played it too safe. That's really besides the point. I got offered a job in Portland, Oregon from a guy named Phil Becker, who's the VP of programming at Alpha Media in Portland, Oregon. Now, if you ask everyone about Portland, Oregon or around the country, like, it's a cool city, right? Of course, it's it's pretty popular. Nike's there and Adidas, and it's fucking Portland. It's awesome. Portlandia, if you guys watch that. And so I got offered to do afternoons, and long story short, by the third week in it, I was like, hey, the people that I'm working with aren't great. I don't feel good about this. A month, 2 months in, the people I was working with still treated me a certain way. And I'm like, this is like, did I really like experience a whole career worth of shit to like put myself in a position where I have to walk on eggshells about being myself? 3 months in, I was like, uh-oh, I'm literally pulling into work and I'm crying. Like, wow, this is terrible. Like, I hate this and I don't know what to do about it. And I had to make a decision eventually that was like 4 months in, VP of programming hired me. I moved to a whole new city, and I had to quit and I had to leave. It was crazy. Like, it was supposed to be the dream job. And there's a little bit more details, but more or less I found this, and there was a moment where I had to either stay in Portland or I had to think about coming here. And, I didn't know much about Minneapolis. I was like, Minneapolis, I've been to St. Louis's and all these other cities in Midwest cities. And besides Chicago, I didn't know much about Minneapolis. Right. And so I made the decision to come here and I worked for iHeart Radios. I worked for CBS's. I worked for all types of radio companies, and this radio station here is just it's the Pohlad family owns it. Who they own the Minnesota Twins.
Okay,
and,
I was wondering about that.
And dude, it's just like they care about the people first. They want us to be hosts. Like, if you listen to a lot of other channels around the country or even in whatever city you're in, it's just a lot of fast food. Hey, here's a song. Hey, no time to even interact. Hey, no local music. And this is something that's super special. And honestly, there's nothing like this radio station in the whole entire country at all. And I'm so blessed to be here, and I love this city. And for a guy, some people are like, Minnesota, dude, you could be in LA, New York, all this. And it's like, it goes back to the word impact. And I'm making an impact here, and I love that. And I love that people are responding to it, and it's genuine, and we get to play great hip hop, and it's and I'm glad you recognize that, because we don't necessarily have the we're a 100 watt, we're a 1,000 watt radio station. So our area and something like KDWB is 100,000 watt. So picture that.
Wow.
So
I know, dude. I always get pissed when I'm going up to like Monticello and I lose reception on 94. I I want to be that asshole that's just honking the horn. And no, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, no, I feel you.
I'm like, I could never live out in Monticello because I can't listen to DJ Bonics, dude. That's messed up.
Well, no, I appreciate it, man. It's just a special, dude. It's crazy at 30. I'll be 38 this year that I could be still excited about this shit. And that's what makes it awesome, man, is that I'm still excited about radio. I'm excited about impact. I'm busy as shit. It affects my relationships with people. But at the same time, I know that God has put me here for a reason. And I love it, man. I'm actually like, it's bittersweet going on tour. and then it'll be bittersweet coming back, you know? So the
Yeah.
fact that I get to enjoy both of it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. When do you come back then? So you leave June 27th, and are you back like Labor Day or what? Or no,
I'll be back August 31st.
August.
And who knows what's around the corner? You know, we might have Australian tour, Asia, all that. So, I mean, as long as Go 95.3, I'm going to have to make a decision one day, maybe not, like to either, hey, I want to start a family here and do this thing, or, hey, because here's the reality is that I don't have to be doing this at all. I could be spending time with my old parents and not waking up at a certain time and just, but I realized that's what was going on in LA is that I had too much freedom. Like I woke up, got stoned, and then, you know, hours later I'd be like, it's too late to even do something. Let's get stoned and not do shit. And that's on me. So having a little bit of discipline at this point in my life is probably a good thing.
You're one of those guys that I feel like gets to, you know, do what you really want to do. Like everybody always talks about do what you want to do. You know, if you don't like your job just even 1%, you just need to quit. You need to follow your heart. You need to do what you need to do. Sounds so freaking easy. And I've got a couple friends, like, you know, it sounds like you love DJing. It's what you know. You've grown up. You get to work your passion. I got a buddy who plays poker, runs his own poker training website, just moved to Las Vegas, living his dream. And then there's guys like me and Josh just hustling, trying to make it happen. We don't love it. We're doing it for all the right reasons. We've married, we've got kids. But this podcast is something that, you know, we love the idea behind it. So.
You hit it on the head, because here's what people say that get it twisted. And I get why they say it, but they have to add the part. People always say, and it doesn't piss me off, but it makes them sound, this is what they say. If I said to you guys, yo, man, you can do what you love. The part that they leave out is, but not necessarily for a living. And that's exactly what you guys are doing right now, is you're doing something you love. And most people, when they don't do it for a living, they just exit out of their life and hey, I'm just going to do the happy hour. They forget about, look, if you love to sing, unfortunately, you might not have the looks or to get a record deal, but if you're not singing karaoke every week or just recording your own songs and having fun, you're not doing what you love. Like someone who wants to be a basketball coach, he may not love to teach kids, but he understands, hey, the way to attain me being a high school basketball coach is I have to be a teacher in a subject that, you know, that maybe I'll generally like, but I'd rather be coaching basketball. But I know that my way to do something I love, which is coaching basketball, is that I have to do this. So that's the part where they leave out, which is, hey, do what you love / but not necessarily for a living, because it's just not possible for everyone. But the do what you love part is the more important part than for a living, you know? Yeah,
I talk about those hours between 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, that's like I take care of my shit, take care of my family during the day. After the kids are in bed, 8, 9 o'clock, then it's my time. And I'm over here on the East Coast talking to Josh. You know, it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "What are you doing up, man?" I'm like, "Dude, this is all the time I got." Like, I like sitting in front of my computer, editing videos, creating content, like just making it happen. And where it can go, I have no idea. But this is what I wish I could just do. If I worked as hard at a job that actually paid, oh man, I'd be loving life.
Hey man, you never know. Listen, there are like teenagers getting paid to play video games on YouTube.
Oh, I know. Is it not Twitch and stuff? That's insane, dude.
Like millions of dollars, and that's crazy.
And I always got bitched at playing video games when I was growing up, dude. Like, it's just like, it's crazy, man. But I mean, dude, I'm sure the grass is always greener on the other side. You know, like I look at a guy like you, Bonics, and I'm like, man, Bonics is like living the dream, man. He's like,
no, I mean, look, there's a lot of definitely the grass is greener. But I look at you guys and say, look, you know, you have a family. That's something that I haven't done. You have a wife. I have a girlfriend. You know, it's just different strokes for different folks, and you gotta just be happy with what's right in front of you. You know,
for sure.
And this is why you know, life is amazing because now we're, again, this three people who've never, well, you guys met, but it's three people who, you know, have a connection, and you know, I already can feel like that we'll all probably be in touch for a long time, you know.
Let me see. This is how it all happens, Josh. You know, like it was January at that Gary V conference. There was an empty seat beside Josh, and I sat
So
down.
wait, let me ask you guys that. What compelled you guys to go to that?
I was just I'm a follower. I'm in advertising. So I do advertising marketing for a magazine, and we sell a lot of digital and print. And I just knew he's cutting edge as far as the digital talk goes. So what I would do a lot of the time is in my meetings, I would just find myself regurgitating what he said, because half the marketing directors that I talk to don't know any of this stuff. So I could go in there and regurgitate Gary Vee's sort of stories about, you know, give, then ask, you know, just sort of, you know, provide quality content over and over and over again. And that's the way to build your brand. Like no other rep comes in and talks to them that way. And I was just selling it, you know, I was selling it and everything was going good. So I just asked my boss if I could go, and he said, yeah, flew me down to Miami and hooked me up for the opportunity, thinking it could be good for sales, you know. I just been a long time. Well, no, you can watch him on YouTube and get the same story. Like his whole.
Right. No, I'm saying, was it good for sales for you?
Well, no, I think what I learned about that conference is going to conferences is more about meeting the people at the conference than actually what you learn at the conference. It was, you can watch the whole conference we were at online tonight on YouTube. The whole thing is there, the entire thing. But it's the people you sat beside, the connections you made while you were there.
And I think that's the part that people are missing out on, is the human connection. And, you know, if you go overseas,
your mic is really fuzzed up. That's real bad. Yeah, take a second.
Hey, there we go.
So much better.
Way better.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Just let me know that. Man, just the human experience, man. That's the part that everyone's missing. You know, it's all telltale how technology is taking us away from that personal experience. And there's something special about a hug. You know, a hug is better than a like any day, because that's you can't transfer real. You know, look, we could get emotional if we told stories to each other in front of a camera and stuff. But like, you know, there's something real about, and like you said, it's more about the people around there, and that's inspiring, is seeing other people who are trying to maybe find what you're looking for. You know?
Yeah. Well,
I gotta come check to a Gary V joint. If you guys ever meet up, man, let me know. I'll come meet you guys.
For sure, man. That'd be awesome. Well, and I think so many times, like, it's always whether you're in business or just personal, you're looking for the ROI on something, right? Or like, if I do this action,
what's that? What's the ROI?
The return on investment, or like what you know, just kind of like, what are you going to get in return, right?
Right.
And I think we're just, as humans, a lot of times, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, like what the fuck do I know? But we're just like always like, if I do this or that, like, what am I going to get, or what is this person going to do for me, or whatever. But if you know, for me, going to that conference, and dude, Bonics, it was $2,000 for a VIP ticket to that. And I hemmed and hawed for the longest time. I almost didn't go, but I ended up meeting LoperCon. Here we are, just like, you know, doing this. Now you're on the podcast. Like, dude, that's the best $2,000 that I ever spent. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird how the world, it's weird how the world works like that, man. Like, and you talked about it earlier too, in what you were saying. You never know.
Real. What's cool about Gary V is that he says things that I know, and like, it just validates that. Like you just said, saves or give gas. Like, that's exactly, you know, I don't necessarily, like, that's not the mantra, but that's how I act. You know, is that like, I just try to give, and I know that when it's time for me to, you know, receive or whatever, I look at how that's how the Pittsburgh model was for me, which is that I gave that city so much. I DJ'd it, I did everything from front to back, and I'm getting that in return. And I feel that way about Minnesota and Minneapolis, is that like, dude, I'm only sharing what God has given to me and what I've worked for, and that's just how it should be, you know. So it's I'm super lucky, man, and I want to keep impacting this city, and who knows where this shit takes me, man. You know, I'm just super thankful that you know, there's people like you out there that are receiving it. You're a good person, and it's even like telling, like, just somebody commented on our summer show and was like, "Yo, that lineup sucks. Where's Wiz at?" You know, and I commented it back, and I was like, "Look, you don't have to be negative about it." And then he commented me back, was like, "You know what? You're right." And that's just those little things
Right.
really are the, you know, that's it. But I think I've been lucky enough to experience so much shit that my mind frame isn't like a savage of like, I need to just fake it to make it kind of vibe. Like I truly understand learning something, being good at it, and understanding how that can benefit from me. You know, I always like to tell young people, especially who are in school, or I'll tell my like little cousins, like, look, you got to learn a skill that will not be dictated by someone firing you or hiring you, because that will always be your, hey, if I'm fired, guess what? I can go make scarves and sell them, or I can grow plants and sell them, like whatever the fuck it is. And that goes back to doing what you love and understanding that when you have a skill set like that, no one can dictate to you, you know, no one can fucking fire you, you know,
Right.
and that's a great backup plan. So, so that's what DJing really did for me. And what's cool is that I never was like, yo, I'm going to DJ hard, so I always have work. No, it was like, people always ask me like, how'd you get into it? I'm like, because I liked it, you know, or what can you tell me? What advice can you give a young DJ? Like, be a fucking fan of it, you know, be a fan like that. You know, there's DJs now who like don't even go see other DJs DJ because they're just ready to do it on their own. And it's like, you're not going to learn that way, man. You got to be a fan about things that you love, not just like, that's that fast food wave, is that people don't want to learn it and like really embody it and be like, you know, you said I skipped class to do that. And that's the truth, is that I skipped class to get to this point. And look, I don't have $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still working and trying to do it. But again, I'm more about the passion than I am about the paper. So I have to work. Like, all I know is at the end of the day, I could just DJ for a living. Weddings, like somebody would love DJ Bonics to do their wedding at some point, but that's the best last case scenario. That's
For sure.
Radio fired me. Wiz is done. Nobody wants to fuck with me. Like, you know what? Let me press play. You know, and there's people who are just pressing play as their means right now, and I've been so lucky enough to just do more than that, you know, and I don't have to, dude. I spent my whole first 10 years of my career missing out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night for DJing, but I appreciate a Friday night off, you know.
For sure. So when you say you appreciate a Friday night off, or when you are off, like, what is
I have to plug my laptop in. Can you give me like 2 seconds?
Yeah, you got it, bro. Dude, this is
See there?
this is unreal, dude.
Hooked it up for you, Joshy boy.
Did it just log him off? I feel like, or no, is that still his?
He's still there, yeah.
Dude,
Sweet, right?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I knew you'd be stoked about this guest, man. I did.
Well, yeah,
I was
you're like,
more excited than you.
You were saying, you're like, dude, it's gonna be the best week ever, and dude, it has. It's been the best week ever.
Hey,
this is sweet.
I'm back.
Man. So,
what
dude,
are you smoking on there? Wait, is that like a little wax pen, or is that just a tobacco?
No, it's just a little it's tobacco. It's got a boost vibe. I've learned how to refill it myself. I get this little vape juice. I I used to smoke for a long time, man. Then I dipped for a long time, and then I've switched to this thing, and then this thing got recalled, so I've had to learn how to watch YouTube videos and crack it apart and refill it myself. No buttons. All you have to do is pull it. I love it. It's like a cigar almost.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Josh?
I was just saying how it's been the best week ever. But before that, I was saying, so when you are off on like a Friday, Saturday night, or outside of music or DJing, like it's kind of a weird question. At least it is for me, because people ask me what I'm passionate about or what I do. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just I mean, what does DJ Bonics do? Like when you're off, or what are you passionate about? What do you got going on?
Man, dude, that's a tough question.
I know, right?
Man. Well, all right. So I like to. This is like, I'll just list things that it's not necessarily on a Friday night, but things that I do not outside of work. I like to listen to podcasts. I like to listen to the news. I'm like kind of a news junkie right now. I watch John Oliver every week. I smoke weed. I play basketball and, try to exercise. But honestly, like I'll just chill on a Friday night if I have to. It's hard for me to go out sometimes because
everyone recognizes you, right?
Not yet. I mean, here in Minnesota, it's happening a little bit, which is awesome. And it's even from people, it's not even on the radio. Like they'll walk up to me and say, it's really been cool. Cool exchanges. Like, I just wanted to say, I grew up watching you on YouTube. And I'm like, whoa, which is crazy because if you watch Wiz's blogs, I'll pop up every once in a while. And what's cool about the Wiz thing too, is that like, I've carved out my own sort of lane and people respect that. Like, look, I could be hanging out with Wiz if I wanted to and every day and be in LA. And that was kind of my main goal when I moved to LA, is like try to be around him more and But people respect the fact that I have my own lane and that I don't have to just live off the, hey, you're Wiz's DJ.
Right.
And I think that's why Wiz respects me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not just like in his entourage. Like a lot of people, like we'll be in Miami. Hey, Wiz is going to the after party. You want to go? Look, I could be in the club with Wiz Khalifa in Miami at the biggest club, but I chose to stay in and just relax, or I chose to hang out with a friend. And, but that comes with it. He's 30. I'm 37. I know what it's like to be in a club,
Yeah.
But there's good food here in Minneapolis, and it's cool meeting people.
What's some of your favorite places to go or restaurants?
Well, right now we like this place in Uptown that's like they had some seafood type spot. I forget the name of it.
Is it Stella's?
Yeah, Stella's is great because we like to eat oysters and man, there's just a lot of good food here. I found an awesome Hickory Hut in St. Paul. Have you been out here, Loper, to Twin Cities?
Well, I have, but that was before I knew Josh. I came up. I had some friends that lived in Inver Grove Heights. They had moved to North Carolina and then moved back, so we went to visit them like twice, but not really, not for any time. And it was covered in snow when I was there, so I was like, "What the hell is this place?"
Right. Yeah, a lot of people are always like, it's cold. It was actually pissing me off for a while when I told people I was moving here, and they'd be like, it's cold there, and I'd be like, duh. People ask me how I deal with it, but it's just like I'm so focused on like whatever the next task is that shit doesn't even. I don't even have time to be emotional about it being cold. It's just like, all right, I got some shit to do. Fuck it. I got to make it through the snow. Fuck it.
Right. What about advice for us, man? Like we're 14 episodes into a podcast. Like we just kicked this thing off just 3 weeks ago or so. Like advice for us, like this podcasting is kind of like DJing in the fact that you're on the radio, you want to gain more listeners, you want to be able to keep the trend going up. Like I don't know, just any like elementary advice that.
Well, I haven't watched the other one, so I'm not really sure what the theme is. I have a podcast. I don't know if you've ever seen it on iTunes.
No, what is it?
I did 4 episodes. It's called. If you look up DJ Bonics on iTunes, it's an audio podcast. It just was a lot of work for me. And I interviewed. I had 4 episodes, and I could do more. It's just. I can't half-ass something. But for you guys, man, I mean, I think you guys just got to keep doing it. That's the thing, is that like if you're doing it for results right away, you're gonna be disappointed. You know what I mean? But if you're doing it because it's fun and eventually you're gonna find the stride, I think you need I mean, it just depends, because, you know, like from what I talked to you earlier, Loper, you're like, hey, so what do you guys talk about? You're like, you know, we talk about current events and stuff like that, and that's cool. So I don't know, man.
Some people feel like we should have like a certain niche. Like me and Josh talk about this a lot. Like we need to narrow down a niche, because right now we are kind of like a variety show. We talk, you know, about trending. We talk, you know, some random topic, and then we maybe try to give like some type of, we call it dad advice or something that's kind of positive or like gonna help somebody. But we talk about trying to drive it home to a niche, and like, you know, I don't think there's anything that Josh and I really want to narrow down and talk about for the next year every single night. Like we don't have that.
I mean, you know, I've listened to like the Joe Rogan podcasts, and I've listened to, you know, NPR stuff, and I feel like a lot of stuff that I don't know if you guys listen to the Moth or This American Life, and a lot of that shit is random. I don't know, man. I mean, I just think that you just keep doing what comes natural to you guys. And how are you pushing this, though? I don't get it. Do people get to watch the videos, or ends up you guys record it into audio vibe, or how do?
Yeah,
how do I go and watch other ones?
Yeah, I recorded on Google Hangouts, which is YouTube Live. So then it saves the YouTube Live. Then I take the link, I turn it into an MP3, I take it over to Audacity, add an intro to it, and then publish it as just an audio podcast. But then what I do is I take all the video footage that we get, and then I make clips out of it. So like today I just released a 1-minute clip of Josh and I saying sort of like, you know, it was kind of like a bloopers reel of like, we had to look in the camera and say why you should listen to the Heavy Hitter podcast. And we'd screw up, but I had all that on video, so I could take that in to an editing software and then edit it down and make a little 1-minute clip. So I'm pushing the video out a little bit to give people a glimpse of what we're talking about, and then directing them to our podcast.
I wouldn't be discouraged about anything, because you're trying to perfect it. I tell a lot of people, like, see, what's good is that you guys are like 14 episodes in. Like a lot of people I've just seen a lot of people try to start a great idea, and then they like don't get the results they wanted to right away, and then they quit it. But I always say that consistency beats perfection. You know what I'm saying? And one day someone's going to catch on, or they might see this episode and love it and say, hey, I want to peep out another one. What's that like? Hey, I want to peep out another one that's like. So I would just say keep doing it, because again, like, don't look at it as like, because you guys are doing this for fun. This is fun for you guys. I love this. Like I love that you guys. I did a Northeast podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I saw that. Yeah.
One, and it was cool. Like and to me, it's like you just never know who you're impacting, and maybe when you I don't know, honestly. I mean, I just say keep doing it.
Yeah, me and him came up with a commitment. We're committed to it. So, like, we set a goal for a year, like 150 episodes, Josh.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be a grind, but we're willing to put it in. We've committed to each other. Like, let's.
I don't know. Maybe we should quit after tonight, though. I don't think it's going to get any better than this.
Oh, come on, man. We can
having Bonics on, dude.
I'll tell you an idea that shot in my head when I walked into the other room to grab it. And this is just an idea, so don't think that I'm putting this pressure on any of us. But if there's a way that this podcast could help me and you guys hit that impact that we want, of like our own little Gary Vee-esque sort of thing, I would be into that. Because they just popped in my head, kind of like, well, maybe these cats like can kind of help me find out how we can make that impact, you know. So maybe I'll come join you guys every once in a while, and dude, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. You know what I'm saying? So
I was thinking we could have our own DJ custom mixed intro, you know, like a little 20-second intro spot.
Hey,
you know,
right. Hey, whatever you guys need, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be awesome, man. I think if we could have, I mean, I think that would be like the perfect like triangle of. It would be awesome, man. dude, whenever you want to come on, you want to be part of it. I mean, like I said, this all like fucking stemmed from you coming to the Twin Cities, from the High Noon Mix Show, and you know, like
funny,
like the heavy hitter, like dude, and like me checking in every day, because like not I don't even know, dude. Like I'm just like, I don't know. It's just like awesome. Like I always look forward to that, and I just always feel like almost feel like I'm in.
And it's never perfect, right? That's why I love it. That it's not shiny. It's just honest. And I mean, you know, we fuck up all the time, or it's never consistent, kind of. And which I'm trying to.
Not to me. That's the funny thing. Being outside the studio, I don't notice that. It's always perfect to me. I mean, obviously, you guys realize that, but I don't know. I just think it would be so cool because, like I said, what it stemmed from, you know, you being the heavy hitter. I started calling people like Loper, like, "What up, heavy hitter?" You know what I mean? Because to me, honestly, dude, like, I appreciate everyone. Like, I think everyone's a heavy hitter. I think they've got like a story. Like, everyone's got this like special thing about them. And you know, I just think when people leave Earth too early, like, I think not only does that person miss out and their family miss out, but I think we all do. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I like that. I keep in my my head keeps spinning about like how you guys could you know, you saw sometimes if in my Instagram how we post like the little snackable content, like what you're doing about taking the minute clips. Like I think that you guys just keep doing it, man. And if you need to retweet or, you know, hey, check this out, it's cool, man. It's cool and it's honest, and I think that this will pay off for you guys some way or somehow. You know, there's a lot of people doing it, you know, and then you'll find people who you know, are successful with it or not. I mean, maybe there is some truth in like trying to focus it more, or at least every week maybe pick like the best parts, like the best ofs, kind of, and then maybe people want to see more of it.
For sure.
Yeah,
can I so it's 10:11. Holy shit, dude. I want to respect your time. Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, no problem, of course.
Bonics. So I mean, who are you most excited about kind of coming up as maybe you get this question all the time. I hope it's not boring, but who are you most excited about coming up in like the hip hop game or the rap game? Is there anyone you've got your eyes on?
I mean, there's this dude Ted Park, who's this Korean guy.
That's right. I like that. You shared that on Instagram. I really like that song.
Well, he's got a whole little project. Yep. He's got a whole little project that he just put out that's really good, and I'm excited for him. There's this guy Buddy that we play on the radio that I like. That's pretty cool. There's just the people that I'm excited most about are you know, the people that I've met along the way, man. Like artists there's artists who like Drum. You guys know Drum? He does
Broccoli.
Ain't nobody tell. Yeah, Broccoli. Like, dude, I interviewed him in Portland, and I was like, "Hey, man, you know, hey, it's DJ Bonics, with Drum," and Drum says to me, "You're the legend, man. Been watching you on YouTube, you know, again." And it's just like crazy that Wiz and Taylor Gang and myself is like, you know, there's a guy named Saba who's from Chicago who's just played at First Ave. This is a pretty cool story. He's done some songs with Chance the Rapper, and he's kind of a Chicago guy, and he's doing well. You should check him out, Saba. Like Sabotage, I think so. It's Sabo, actually, Sabo. And his so I met him in Portland, and his DJ came up to me and he was like, "Yo, when I was 12 years old, I Facebook messaged you and I asked you to critique this DJ mix that I made." And he's like, "You tore me up so bad, and I will never forget that. And I was upset about it then, but I realized that the fact that you even answered and gave me this feedback, I looked up to you the whole time, and now I'm doing it and traveling around." And, you know, watching him open up the show like, "Y'all ready? Put your hands up," and do the whole thing. I couldn't help but think like, yo, man, he like watched me do that, and I watch other people doing that. And so there's a lot of stories like that, man. Like there's a lot of stories that I won't that I won't necessarily, not that I won't share, but I don't share yet, or I don't share in public. There's people that I've met all around the world where I have a little connection with them. Or I'll give you a nice little quick one. When I was in Belgium, our tour bus went to Belgium, and we woke up in Belgium. And I was the first one to walk off the bus. It was probably like 9 in the morning. And I walk out the bus and I see a young kid basically like 15 feet from us standing outside the bus. And I know he shouldn't be there. I know that he's probably a fan if he's like outside of the venue where Wiz Khalifa is in the tour bus. And he looks at me and he's like, hey, and he knew that I was a DJ, of course. And I was like, what's up, man? What are you doing right now? And so when I'm overseas, I try to, like, no matter how much time we are in a day, I try to do as much as I can if I can fit it in. So I'm like, what you doing right now? He's like, oh, I'm just hanging out. I was like, you know, you're not supposed to be here. He's like, yeah. I was like, what do you have to do for the rest of the day? And he was like, nothing. I was like, all right, hang out for a second here and I'll be back. So I went in and I got changed and I got ready to kind of go on an excursion. I was like, you're going to take me downtown right now. Like, this kid's probably like, I don't even know how old he is, maybe like 20. I was like, we're going to take me, where's downtown, and take me. So he takes me on the train. And so when we're on the train down to downtown, he tells me this really crazy story about, so he's this black kid from Africa who his mother got killed and had to be adopted. Just a few years before that, him and his brother were adopted by some, white Belgium guy. And so now he lives in Belgium. His little brother's having trouble because, it's the story of, this isn't my dad and my mom died. And so he's telling me this heartbreaking story about basically how his mother got murdered in Africa. So then I turned it around and I said, well, what's your dream, man? And he said, I wanna be a producer. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. And so I realize how lucky I am, right? I'm touring with Wiz Khalifa, and this poor kid who is living in Belgium, and probably because he is dark-skinned in that city, probably doesn't necessarily always get, the attention or the, that's just a sad fact. And so I was like, I need to go to the music store and buy headphones. Could you take me there? So, he takes me to the music store, and I'm like there shopping, and I buy a beat machine, and he thinks it's for me. And I walk out the store and I give him this drum machine, and I'm like, this is for you so you can work on your dream. And he was like, awesome. Almost wanted to cry. And I could see or he didn't cry, but he was just like, I just met this guy like hours ago. And then I took him, he came to the Wiz show. He met Wiz, this whole day of where he woke up and didn't think that was going to happen. Another quick one, real quick. I went to Barcelona, and I was like, was it Barcelona? Lisbon, Portugal. We got to Lisbon, Portugal, and literally we flew in that morning. We're going to perform and fly back the next day. So I was like, all right, I got 6 hours. What can I do? I called the front desk at the hotel and I said, hey, what would it cost to someone to take me on a tour around the city? They're like $200. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me just call an Uber and figure this out. So I'm in Lisbon, never been in Lisbon before. Call an Uber. This guy picks me up, and I'm like feeling him out. I'm like, all right, let me, and I could see he's like a cool little honest guy. You never know who you get. You might get someone old. You might get the young guy. He spoke English well. And I said, what are you doing for the rest of the day? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, how much would it cost for me to just not let's turn the meter off, and how much would it cost for you to take me around? And so I told him why I was there, hey, I'm touring here. And so I got to know him while he was driving me. At first I had to ask him all these questions to kind of vet him and say, all right, make sure he's like, oh, I'm a musician. And I'm like, oh shit, you're a musician? Guess what? I'm in town for Wiz Khalifa's coming with me. Oh shit, that's crazy. Takes me all around town. I feed him. He shows me, he speaks the language. So if I want some shit, he comes back, and I said, he drops me off at my hotel, and I say, hey, park your car and you're going to come with me to the show. So this guy wakes up, does his Uber trip, finds me. He rides in the van with Wiz all the way to this thing, gets on stage, and watches the show from stage, and we drive all the way. It was like an hour trip from Lisbon. We go back, and dude probably will tell that story forever, you know? And it's those little things, and it's that impact, man. That's what I'm telling you. The word is impact, that forever. That's give. And it's not even give. It's just sharing what I have, because that's what really, dude, and that's the things. And those two stories, there's not a million, but there's a lot of those sort of, hey, I met someone randomly, and because I was open, and because law of attraction, we both benefit from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Josh, I talk about coaching a lot, and I don't use the word impact, I guess, but I think that is what makes, like, I coach a under-8 soccer team. And man, whenever season's in, that's my favorite time of year. I love this stuff, man, because I am impacting these kids. Like I get to be an influence, a leader, like teach them about sportsmanship, break up scuffles. Like, man,
and tough love, you know. Like there's an intern today who was like almost on the verge of tears because I was hard on him today, because not to really share all his story, but I was like, listen, I've asked you not to use your phone while you're in here, you know, and even those things, to me, it's all calculated, you know. It's like these kids, they need that, man. They're in this fast food thing where they just all of a sudden think that, hey, I make beats, send them to Wiz. It's like, no, like take your time and be good. People are afraid about being good. It goes back to the chapter 1, happily ever after. That's what they want, and that's what when they don't understand that the sweet spot is the story, you know. Sweet spot is the story. Right.
Well, good stuff, man.
That's awesome, man. So cool.
No, thank you. Let's do it again, man. Anytime.
Let's do it.
And if I could help you guys get guests or you know, or anything like that, man, I'll be willing to help. Well, please stay in touch. I'll share my phone number with you guys, and if you guys ever need anything or feel like you're in a bad spot or need someone to talk to, you know, I'll be available for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Likewise, man. Hey, Heavy Hitter Nation, dude, this is the ultimate heavy hitter, DJ Bonics on 95.3 Gold Radio. Make sure you download the app. This guy is the real deal. He's going to be on tour with Wiz Khalifa June 27th till August 31st. All over the world. It's worldwide, DJ Bonics. Make sure you check him out. Dude, I'm excited for you, bro. You got a lot of good shit going on.
I'm going to appreciate it, man. If you guys ever have an idea on how I can put this in a bottle and we all can eat from it, you let me know, because my modesty sometimes and my self-deprecation has probably stopped me from a lot of great things. So if you guys ever find a way where we all can impact people together, I'd love to be a part of it.
For sure. Bonics, you know the Bobby Bones show?
I don't know the Bobby Bones. Oh wait, he's in Texas, isn't he?
He's in Nashville, but he's a country music. I guess you call it DJ, but not really. But he's got a morning show that plays on what's that? You guys have talked about it. I don't even know the name.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, like iHeartRadio. You can listen to it anywhere. It's on one of our local stations on the radio. But he's got a morning show, and you know that's a lot what this feels like to me a lot of the time. Like even when it's just me and Josh, it feels like, oh man, we should just like some type of morning show where you're in there with your buddies, you're having a damn good time, you're doing positive stuff for the community, you mix in music, you mix in guests, but you get to make that impact, and you know you get to really have fun doing it. So I tell Josh a lot of the times that this podcast that we're doing today, it's a podcast that's no idea what it's going to be, but what it is it's on our resume. Like if I wanted to go interview for that morning show one of these days, like I'm going to have 150 episodes of footage that I can go in and share. So, I mean, maybe that's something to think about. I'd love to get in a booth.
I mean, just make sure you guys are trying to push it. And, you know, again, I'll give the advice to the same advice I said earlier to rappers. Look, if you can't get your neighbors and friends to tune in, then how are you going to get them? So it's awkward sometimes for friends because, you know, it's that, so just keep doing what you guys are doing and keep having fun with it, man. At the end of the day, it won't matter. if you do want to take it into that next direction, then you want to start thinking about building an audience and stuff, maybe having a shorter form, or who knows though. I mean, I listen to these hour-long fucking podcasts with Joe Rogan, and he's just talking shit, you know? And so you remember, man, there's a lot of people doing this, so you just got to kind of find your lane and what makes you special against others. And the answer truly is you two, you know, that you guys are truly unique. And so I would just, you know, keep doing this, man, and consider me a fan. And now I get to tweet about. Oh, someone's at the door. I get to tweet about Joshua Johnson and Loper.
That's awesome, buddy.
I'll go ahead and shut it down. All right, guys.
Thank you so much, buddy.
All right, Heavy Hitter Nation.
Thank you so much, man.
Saying bye to DJ Bonics. He's got somebody at the door. The dog's barking. Josh Johnson, it was real, buddy. We'll catch you guys.
I'll let you know, buddy. Thank you so much.
Let's go. Let's go.